Welcome. Today, we're jumping right into one of the most critical parts of any fitness journey, your calorie intake. We're using Chapter 5 of the Ultimate Guide to Body Recomposition as our playbook, and by the end of this, you're going to have your own personalized calorie blueprint.
Okay, so let's just get right to it. This is the question, isn't it? The key to body recomposition. But here's the thing, the answer isn't some magic number I can just give you. It's actually a formula, a system you build for yourself. And that's exactly what we're about to do.
First things first. Before you can get where you're going, you have to know the destination. And yeah, the big picture is building muscle and losing fat. But for this to work, you have to decide which one is your main focus right now. You have to choose. This single decision sets the stage for everything else. So why is this so important? Because picking a primary goal tells us exactly what to do with your energy intake. Are we giving your body more fuel to build, which is a calorie surplus, or are we giving it less fuel to encourage it to burn, which is a deficit? It's the first major fork in the road. This really boils down to a mindset question. I want you to be honest with yourself. When you look in the mirror, what's your first instinct? Is it, I want to trim down and see more definition? Or is it, I need to add some size and fill out my frame? Your gut reaction here is what's going to set the foundation for your calorie target. Okay, so we've got the destination plugged into the GPS. Now, we need to know your starting location on the map. And that comes down to two things, your current body composition and how long you've been training. Trust me, where you're starting from is just as important as where you want to go. We've got to look at two key variables about you. First, your current body fat percentage. Are you lean or do you have some fat to lose? And second, what the source calls your training age. How long have you been lifting seriously? These two factors are going to dramatically change the strategy. So, as a general rule, your body fat level helps make that primary goal crystal clear. If you're already in that lean category, you've pretty much earned the right to go into a calorie surplus and focus on building muscle. But if you're in that moderate or high range, you're going to see way better recomposition results if you start in a deficit. And this quote right here, it just perfectly captures why your experience level matters so much. See, when you're new to lifting, your body's like a sponge for muscle growth, but the longer you've been at it, the more efficient your body gets, and the slower that growth becomes. That means you have to be way more careful with your calories. So, for a beginner, you're in this unique window of opportunity where your body is just primed for growth. The guide suggests a pretty generous surplus, around 25% above your maintenance calories. This gives your body all the fuel it needs to build muscle fast without packing on a ton of fat. But for an advanced lifter, someone who's much closer to their genetic ceiling, a big surplus like that is just going to lead to unwanted fat gain. So the approach has to be more delicate. A much smaller surplus, somewhere in that 10 to 15% range, is the sweet spot to keep building that hardened muscle while keeping fat gain to a minimum.
All right, you've picked your primary goal and you've figured out your starting point. Now for the really fun part. Let's put these pieces together and actually build your personalized calorie target.
The whole process is actually pretty straightforward. It's just 3 steps. First, we figure out your baseline, your maintenance calories. Second, we find your specific adjustment percentage based on everything we've talked about. And third, we just do a little bit of math. That's it.
Okay, the absolute most important first step is getting an estimate of your maintenance calories. This is the amount of energy your body burns just to stay the same weight. This number is the foundation, the anchor for every single adjustment we're going to make from here.
So the guide gives us 2 great ways to do this. You can use a quick and easy formula to get a really solid estimate right now, perfect if you just want to get started. Or if you want something that's way more precise, you can actually track your food intake and your body weight for a couple of weeks. It takes more time, but it's going to give you a much more accurate real-world number. And here it is. This table is basically your cheat sheet. This is where everything we've just talked about comes together. So just take a second, find the row that's you, start with your goal, then your experience level, and then your body fat. That number in the final column, that's your adjustment percentage. This connects all the dots. So you have your starting number, that's awesome. But we can take this one step further. We can add another layer of optimization by asking, should you be eating the same amount every single day? So you basically have 2 options here. You can keep things super simple with what's called a linear approach, eating the same calories every day, or you can get a little more strategic with a nonlinear approach, which a lot of people call carb cycling. Both can work great, but one might be a better fit for you. Here's the general thinking. A simple, linear plan works perfectly when you're in a surplus because you've got plenty of energy to go around every day. But if you're eating at maintenance or in a deficit, cycling your carbs can be a really powerful tool to make sure you have more fuel for your toughest workouts when you need it most. And if you do decide to go with this nonlinear path, the guide offers a really simple rule of thumb to start with. On your rest days, just reduce your total carbohydrate intake by about 20%. It's a simple shift that helps send energy where it's needed most, on your training days. And this is so important to remember. The number we just calculated, it's your launch pad. It is not a permanent rule set in stone. Your body is constantly adapting, and your metabolism will change as you progress. That means you have to monitor how things are going with the scale, with measurements, with photos, and be ready to make small adjustments.
So, you've done it. You have the how much for your calorie blueprint, and that is a massive step forward. But, of course, that leads us to the next big question, the what. What's the breakdown of protein, carbs, and fats you need to actually fill those calories with for the best results? Well, that is exactly what we're going to break down next time.